Could you, the Falun Gong Information Center has documented a lot of cases over the years.
Yeah.
Could you just tell us maybe what are the most sort of shocking things that have happened to people over the past 12 years that you know?
Yeah, there are quite a few. One probably is very well known, is involving pop star Yu Zhou, and he does follows practice of meditation or Falun Dafa. And one day when he was walking home from a concert that he gave, he was just grabbed by the secret police, and they took him to a police station, and then they tortured him to death. And then later on, they just said he died of on his own, and even though there are photos of Bruce and beating and his wife appealed the case, and then his wife is missing now. His wife is now sentenced in a labor camp. There are quite a few interesting, I would say, characteristics of this persecution. The first one would be that when Jiang Zemin, the Communist Party chief at that time, waged persecution in 1999, he started the campaign actually short of a legal ground. And in fact, this persecution itself is against Chinese constitution, which has a clause for the freedom of religion, freedom of conscience. On June the 10th, actually, he set up this so-called 610 office, which has supreme power over the judicial branch and also government bodies in order to carry out the party's policy to eradicate the Falun Gong meditation. So Jiang Zemin, then ordered the People's Congress by the end of October to erect the so-called policy or doctrine of anti-cult law, which actually itself did not mention Falun Gong either, because it's very troublesome, because this doctrine will be also in contradiction with what is written in the Constitution. So the legal scholars, will think this doctrine is against Chinese Constitution as well. So, and those lawyers and the court cannot take Falun Gong case because they are not allowed to because of the Communist Party policy. So in effect, the whole thing, have been taking place without any legal ground. Not only that, the judicial branch has been kidnapped by the Communist Party as a tool to persecute Falun Gong rather than to protect the citizens' rights. Another characteristic of the persecution is the widespread, the severity of the persecution. Throughout Chinese history, we have never seen such a brutal persecution where they result to all sectors of society. Let me give you an example. In the universities, all students and the faculty has to study the Communist Party policy to denounce Falun Gong. This happens not only in factories, in government offices, but also in the military, even on the street neighborhood level. They have neighborhood committees. The old ladies have to do things. Even in elementary school, everyone has to go through this, procedure to denounce and try to, follow the Communist Party policy to try in an effort to eradicate Falun Gong. I remember when Jiang Zemin was in power, during his brief meeting with President Clinton, he gave President Clinton a small booklet with defamation against Falun Gong, because he realized that when he waged such a nationwide, a huge campaign persecution against Falun Gong, the international society will be, very sensitive, will be against it. So he was trying to spread some propaganda against Falun Gong, to cheat the international society. But this did not work, over the past 12 years, as we can see. The persecution in China against Falun Gong actually have been extended to overseas. It's not just a China issue, because they have 16 offices in all the Chinese embassies overseas, and they spread the propaganda against Falun Gong not just in China but also internationally.
Well, this year and now in general, is it as extreme as it was back, in 2001 when it first started? What sort of the situation?
Well, the persecution has been ongoing. There's no lapse of persecution, or the severity is the same. There's no a short of weakening of the persecution. The policy of persecuting Falun Gong has been consistent on the Communist Party, even though in recent years the Chinese Communist Party has been quiet about defamation and also persecution of Falun Gong in international society, even domestically, because of the widespread condemnation from international community and also the resistance from the general public inside of China. Now today, if you go to Chinese society, you don't see media, publicly, making up a case, against Falun Gong. They try to avoid using the term.